Hello, and first of all, my apologies. I meant to get this video out last month, but between several important real-life events occurring, such as starting my job and finally getting my driver's license, I've been a little distracted over the past 6 weeks. Anyways, if you're seeing this, or hearing this, I guess, and you were a follower of this project from back in December or January-ish, my apologies again. I'm going to say up front that while I do have quite a bit to show you, it's mostly just various prototypes and little demos I've made over the past few weeks. They have essentially been my several attempts to revive this project after the engine that you're all familiar with, thanks to these videos, was put on hold. Why did I put it on hold and eventually attempt to restart? Well, feature creep. Basically, I was spending tons of time on certain features that I wasn't entirely sure would be necessary in the final game. For example, the materials and physics engine were both pretty massive time sinks, especially the physics engine, which I didn't even finish, and I decided to put the game on hold until I had a better idea of what it was going to turn out to be. So on January 28th, 2021, I officially canceled that version of the game and began focusing on other small projects like this rhythm game I was working on. And this. I'll talk about this later. And so, throughout the month of February, I began to explore several ideas and concepts of what Inverity could be. I made a small raycasting engine prototype, thinking, rather naively, that I could perhaps build a game using pure ray tracing. My hopes of that were dashed pretty quickly when just rendering a single cube brought the engine down to 30 frames per second. I want to stress that this is all being done on the GPU. I imagine there's probably quite a few optimization techniques that I missed due to my general inexperience in this field of rendering, but at the same time, I decided it wouldn't be a wise move for me to potentially spend months on just the engine alone and getting it to work properly. So I moved on. Throughout March and April, I experimented with other different concepts and ideas, this time using standard rasterization as a means of rendering it all. Almost all of these concepts were canned before I could even get them properly prototyped. Almost all of them. This is the one idea from that era that I'm still working on, and it's not an Inverity prototype. It's a real-time strategy where you build up your civilization on a randomly generated planet and face off against AIs that will try to learn from other players, AI or not, on the map. Basically, it's a civilization RTS with machine learning AIs. It's great, you're gonna love it. I would expect a video on that either this or next weekend, and I'll talk more about how I'm gonna be doing these videos from now on later. But first, I need to talk about this Inverity prototype I began working on in June. And this is part of the reason I'm glad I waited until now to make this video, and part of the reason I chose to wait until now to make this video. This is a prototype of a new rendering technique I learned of when researching how video games render particles. I'll talk in deeper depth about how it works when I upload a new Inverity devlog at the end of the month. But the fundamental concept behind Inverity, which I called the frustum, remains the same, and that's why what you're seeing now is just a prototype because it lacks the engine components necessary to be able to add those mechanics in. There's one last thing I wanted to talk about in this video, and that's the content that I've been uploading to this channel since that second devlog got posted. I understand that quite a few of you have subscribed to this channel for the game dev content, and I also understand that it must have frustrated you quite a bit whenever your notifications went off and it turned out to be the third best of X month music in a row. Yeah, I didn't really expect the first devlog to get the amount of engagement that it did, so I didn't really think uploading it to this channel, which prior to that video was primarily known for this thing I spent months on only for it to get copyright claim with no way for me to resolve. I didn't think uploading to this channel would have been a problem. From here on out, I'm moving all of my game dev content to a different channel, Wooshi, named after my Steam account, which I came up with back when I was 6, and it definitely has nothing to do with the iconic 2008 DreamWorks classic Kung Fu Panda. I've just been uploading random shit to it for the past 6 years, including this video which got 200,000 views for some ungodly reason, so I think it's time I put it to some good use. So, in conclusion, I've got 2 projects that I'm working on at the moment, Inverity and this fun and wacky RTS that I've yet to come up with a name for. All future game dev content regarding this project will be put on my other channel, Wooshi, so go follow that one if this is what you're here for. If you like my music content though, I got other projects coming to this channel too, so stay on the lookout for that. At any rate, that's about all I have to share with you at the moment, so I guess I will see you all wherever I see you. Goodbye.